A middleweight bout. These two are exact opposites of each other. Good contrast of style. Lowry will try to press the action throughout. He's going to be on the inside, trying to stay down low. Foreman more straight punches, more skillful boxer.
All right, and that is Troy Lowry right there. We mentioned he's coming in off a career-defining win for him against the former champion, Yuri Foreman, who took a very circuitous route to get to this point in his boxing career. Born in Belarus, at 11, his family moved to Haifa, Israel. At 18, he wanted to pursue boxing and had done amateur boxing and said, I'm going to move to New York, where he won other amateur titles and then moved on to the pro ranks.
First fight at 7 years old, but then he dropped it for a while when he moved to Israel. Then he restarted at 15 and then 18 you talked about, and went on to win a couple of Golden Gloves championships. 76-5 in the non-paid ranks for Yuri Foreman on your left. And see the good skill from him, starting off with the jab and good lateral movement. For Lowry, his style, he says in the ring, take one and give one. He says, I'm a brawler, a fighter. I fight on the inside. His best punch, he says, is the right cross. He's going to try to use that good right hand to the body from Foreman.
Round one of 10 rounds in this middleweight match that features Troy Lowry trying to take an extra step off after that last win that we mentioned, which was so effective for him. At 35, obviously, time is short to make a mark in boxing, and he hopes to do that tonight against Yuri Foreman.
1-2 in his last 3, coming off that big win, and that gave him a great deal of confidence. Bringing that into this match tonight, Troy Lowry.
Foreman showing you the movement that Sean talked about in the boxing skills. He is very much a boxer-puncher. He and Tommy Brooks, his trainer, Sean, had said they're trying to work on Americanizing his style a little bit more.
Yes, and what they're saying is the European style is really outdated here in America. The European style, they're straighter up. It's more of an amateur style. They hit not to force the punches. In pro boxing, people go for knockouts. They're looking to hurt their opponent. They're looking to inflict pain. So it's a different philosophy in the European style that looks for decisions and the American style that looks for knockouts. And Tommy Brooks is an outstanding trainer, and he can teach that.
One of the best in boxing. About a half minute left to go here in round number 1.
Well, boxing is not something you learn from a book. Somebody like Tommy Brooks has to hand down to you how to do the secrets of the sport, like my father did with me.
Yeah. Good right hand by Foreman a moment ago, and Lowry responds with his own right. Just seconds remaining here in round number 1 of our scheduled 10 rounders. We kick off this big evening of boxing. Do it for round 1. We move into round number 2 in this scheduled 10 rounder. Yuri Foreman in the black trunks, 25-year-old undefeated middleweight. Troy Lowry in the red, white, and blue trunks, 27-5. Foreman lands a good right hand. He's been able to get that punch in from time to time in this match.
And with that in mind, what Lowry should do is use the jab. Double up that jab sometimes. See? When your opponent counters your jab, you double up and counter his counter.
They have a common opponent. They both fought Anthony Ivory.
Everybody fought Anthony Ivory.
You just barely missed fighting.
I know, he fights everyone, and he usually does pretty well. He's a tough guy to fight.
Yes. They both won a decision. It was a split decision for Lowry, but a unanimous one for Yuri Foreman. So far, Lowry not able to really get on the inside.
No, and he's really fighting the wrong way, in my opinion. I think he should be smothering somebody like Foreman, but he has 10 rounds. He's getting into the mode of the fight. These 10-rounders don't really start heating up until the 3rd, 4th round. So he's still got plenty of time to set his attack. And he's also wondering what he's going to see from Foreman. Lowry got into boxing because he loved working out. some kids were going to try to beat him up, he heard. So he started boxing. Never got beat up by them. Oh, big right hand. That buckled the knees of Lowry.
Yuri Foreman has landed that punch a lot. A little over a minute left to go here in round number 2 of this scheduled 10-rounder, and for the most part it's been fought on Yuri Foreman's terms in the center of the ring, and has been matched from the outside. And little for Jorge Alonso, the referee, to do in this match so far. Again, the jab of Foreman, which
so effective,
helps set up that right.
And it's so effective. It is the most important weapon in boxing, both offense and defense. Use that jab when you don't know what else to use.
That's a very good, that's actually a good way to put it. No matter what, it's going to help you.
It works. And whoever controls the jab controls the fight. You know, you steer with that jab too. Put it on your opponent's nose. Let him feel it. Get him to watching the jab, and then you load up with the right hand. And that's Troy Lowry's best punch, he says.
Just seconds remaining here in round number 2 as Yuri Foreman continues to box and box effectively and occasionally do that. We move into round number 3 in this 10-rounder, kicking our evening of boxing off because we have a lot more left to go and some exciting fights to come. But right now it's Yuri Foreman in the black trunks, young 25-year-old middleweight against Troy Lowry. And Lowry, the veteran, has, for the most part, had a difficult time getting in where he can do damage with his punches. And this round starts out with a good combination by Foreman.
You know, he's having trouble with the speed, with the movement of Foreman, and the power, you know?
Yeah, Yuri told us yesterday, speed is absolutely the answer in this fight. He said, Troy Lowry's a good fighter. He looks like a solid, durable guy, but I'm a lot quicker than him. So far, that's been true.
And they say speed is power as well. If you throw a fist at 75 miles an hour, you're gonna hurt somebody.
Approaching the halfway mark here in round number 3, and Yuri Foreman, the 25-year-old from New York, via Israel, via Belarus, continues what he hopes is ultimately a march toward the title in his division.
Very talented, and look at these moves from him, these feints, these foot feints. Look at the movement to the side, the turning. I love that stuff. You know, you turn around, you give your opponent a different angle. Your punches hit him at a different trajectory. He gets surprised, and you're constantly moving. There's motion in there. I like it.
You know, he's in around 155, Sean. Does Yuri Foreman feel like he might be more effective as a junior middleweight, though?
Absolutely. Look at him, and he is 5'11". He can carry this. He looks like he carries the weight really well. I think absolutely.
You kind of see
junior middleweight.
154 a little
absolutely,
more.
Yeah.
Minute left to go here in round number 3. I'm Al Bernstein along with Sean O'Grady. We're delighted you joined us tonight for our pay-per-view card. Later on in our main event, David Tua and CC Salif will tee it up.
Yeah, really great to work with you, Al.
Very nice.
It's been some years. I tell you, when I was a little kid, I used to watch you on some of the biggest fights in boxing, so it's a real thrill for me to work with you tonight.
When you were in grade school.
When I was in grade school, yeah. 6th and 7th grade, yeah.
Half a minute left to go in round 3. I'll keep
I figured I better get that in before you did.
I'll keep my response in abeyance for later on in the show.
It is a boxing match.
Yeah, exactly.
And Foreman continues. Look at those foot feints from him. Isn't that pretty? A nice little foot feint. You feint your opponent out of his shoes. And he did.
Lowry.
And you know what? For Troy Lowry, he is fighting absolutely the wrong fight. He's staying at just the wrong distance. He's out there where he can get hit.
So round 3 passes into the night. Another good one for Yuri Foreman. Well, a pleasant reminder that it is round number 4. It's 10-rounder. Yuri Foreman in the black trunks and Troy Lowry in the red, white, and blue. The 35-year-old veteran Lowry, who started his boxing career at the in the gym of Tommy Brunette, And I mention that because Tommy, a well-known boxing figure in the Minnesota-St. Paul area, who tragically passed away just about 5 or 6 months ago at a very young age, and it was a blow to the boxing community, that's for sure.
Tommy did a great job of building boxing in that area and passing on the art that is boxing in that area.
And he'll be missed.
You know, and with Troy Lowry, he's a tough guy. You know, he's a tough guy. He's wearing those Rocky trunks proud.
Big right hand by Foreman. So Yuri Foreman starting to step it up with that right hand. Of course, as Sean said, he set that up with all the jabs he landed earlier.
And Troy better start stepping up his attack too. You know you've got Yuri on top. You know he's coming in. So you get your hands ready and just fire when your opponent advances.
Well, there's Lowry using the jab 2 or 3 times effectively. We haven't seen much of that. I guess counter right hand by Yuri Foreman.
Troy does look a little bemused in there. What do you do? How do you sit down for a minute, hold still, and let me hit you? You know, Santiago Samaniego was his last fight. Santiago Samaniego fights a different style. He comes at you, he throws wide punches, he's very tough and rugged, kind of like Troy Lowry. Now, Yuri Foreman is showing him all these different angles, and Troy doesn't know what to think. He's like, where are you? Hold still.
Having a hard time is Lowry with the hand and foot speed of Foreman. About a minute left to go here in round number 4 of the scheduled 10-rounder.
And I don't know that there are many fighters who would not have a difficult time with that. You have to go in there with a fight plan. Good right hand high on the head from Foreman. You have to go in there with a specific fight plan. You got to be able to alter it second by second in a fight of this nature with somebody like Foreman.
You know, Yuri Foreman, I know he's trained in the kind of classic European style, but to my way of thinking, I don't think he's a stiff fighter. I mean, he's a boxer, puncher, clearly, but I don't think he's really that stiff.
Yeah, I do see some of the European traits and attributes in his style, but they are trying to change him a little bit, but they don't. You got to be real careful when you change a fighter.
Well, and some of that's good. You know, it's good,
yeah,
it's good technique. So.
Absolutely it is.
Seconds remaining here around number 4, and it has been a mirror image of the first 3 with Yuri Foreman boxing and doing it quite well. Approaching the halfway point in this 10-rounder between Yuri Foreman in the black trunks and Troy Lowry in the red, white, and blue. And so far, it has been a fight controlled by Foreman. There have been no knockdowns. No one's been seriously hurt, but Foreman has, we think, probably come close to pitching a shutout.
No hits, no runs, no errors.
Foreman is married to Lila Lidecker, who is a Hungarian model he met in New York, and she's also an amateur boxer. Is it a good idea to marry someone who's an amateur boxer?
If you come home a little late, or if the seat is left up, you know, there's all kinds of.
There are many pitfalls.
Yeah, there are all kinds of things that could be bad there.
I'm just wondering if that's appropriate.
You know, kind of funny. I did a fight one time with this female fighter, and her husband was a boxer too. Every night they pushed the furniture back and they would spar each other. They you know, so you got a built-in sparring partner. The only problem is their daughter went to school and told the counselor at school, so the police came to their house. Oh, we're boxers. These are a couple of boxers right here.
That's for sure. Yuri Foreman landing another straight right hand, and Lowry, you know, he has not cut off the ring at all, Sean. He's been kind of following Foreman around, and that's been part of the issue, no?
Yes, absolutely. Get in or get out. And what I would like to see from Yuri is some explosions. Yeah, he's really good, but we're going along here at 1 speed. He's won just about every minute of every round. At a point like that, you got to be saying to yourself, shouldn't I be knocking out these kinds of fighters? I know Troy is tough, but everybody can be either knocked out or stopped in today's boxing.
7 KOs and 18 wins for Yuri Foreman. So he is not a knockout artist, clearly.
Not at all. 16
Clash
KOs.
of heads. Clash of heads there. Let's see if there any cut developed on Foreman. He was dabbing at his eye. Hard to tell.
You know, there's a real art to knocking somebody out. That's why they call them knockout artists. You have to set up your opponent. You have to lure him into this false sense of security. Good right hand, but no follow-up.
Now, also, there is a cut on the cheekbone, the left cheekbone of Yuri Foreman, but it's in a spot where it would seldom stop a fight, so they'll work on that. Foreman, with a little more urgency, goes after Lowry with a big right hand. Winding down here in round number 5, we approach the halfway mark in this fight, and except for that pesky cut under the left eye, it's been a very good outing for Foreman.
And now look at that right hand on it every time, hitting right on the left eye of Lowry.
Yep, it's round 6. As we move into the latter part of this fight, Troy Lowry in the red, white, and blue trunks with a very slight nick over his left eye, and Yuri Foreman in the black trunks with a cut on his the cheekbone of underneath his left eye. It has been, for the most part, a fight dominated by Foreman, the 25-year-old who came in here with an 18-0 record. Lowry is a 35-year-old veteran who is 27-5.
And really coming off of his best win, that fight against Santiago Samaniego, he said in that fight he used his right hand a lot. That's the punch he's trying to use now in this fight because he sees the swelling, that little nick underneath the left eye of Foreman.
Well, Samaniego, of course, a former world champion, so that was a big win. But as you aptly pointed out, Sean, he is a completely different kind of fighter than Yuri Foreman, and it demonstrates again how important styles are in boxing.
Oh, this style is so vexing for any fighter. Look at the way that Foreman moves. Look at him turn. Look at him, you know, how relaxed he is. Look at him swivel. Look at him, you know, he's good in the ring. And he's hard to beat. He's going to be hard to catch.
Halfway through round number 6, it is scheduled for 10, the first of our 4 matches this evening. Here at the Hard Rock Live Arena, terrific venue for boxing at the Seminole Hard Rock Hotel here in Hollywood, Florida. This building on Tuesday had ZZ Top in here as one of their recent concert acts.
That little old band from Dallas, Texas.
For sure, they're pretty darn good.
They had it. Yeah, they'll make it one day if they keep working hard.
They're a contender. They could be a champion.
Yeah.
Minute left to go here in round number 6. And of course, this is the second boxing event to be held in this facility, and it's a good one. Good jab by Yuri Foreman. Now, Lowry's trying to get the right-handed, Sean. He's just not able to do it. Would a body attack have benefited Lowry early? Should he have maybe gone downstairs a little more to at least touch him?
Body attack would have benefited anybody at any point in a fight, but you've got to stay on it, especially somebody like Foreman. It's going to take a good fighter to beat him because what you have to do is you got to go in and cut down that body to stop all that movement first. Then you might be able to hit him. But there's a good left hook from Foreman. That wobbled. Troy Lowry may be hurt right now.
Nice performance so far by Yuri Foreman as we conclude round number 6. And the next time Troy Lowry's on the inside being effective will be the first. We move into the 7th in a fight that has had no knockdowns and nobody dramatically hurt, but for Yuri Foreman, as he starts out this round with 2 jabs, it has been him primarily giving a boxing lesson to Troy Lowry.
And it's been a real clean fight, too. I mean, both fighters. You know, we've not even had time to talk about the referee, Jorge Alonso, outstanding referee, but you know you have a good one when you don't see him, you don't hear from him. He's like a ghost in there. He's watching the action. He's protecting the fighters.
And because Troy Lowry has not gotten on the inside much, there have been very few of these clinches.
Right. And again, reminding Jorge Alonso, reminding them to watch their heads.
Yeah, both men with nicks.
Sure.
So far in this fight.
You know, I talked a few rounds about closing the gap, about how Lowry is giving too much room. You can't try, his style is such that he's a brawler. He can't become a boxer and a mover and a turner like Foreman is. he has to be that slugger. You've got to stay on the inside. You've got to start the attack. You've got to barnstorm him in there, and he is not doing that tonight. He is vacating his fight plan. He told us yesterday he was going to get on the inside and brawl.
Yeah, that was what he wanted to do, and it hasn't materialized in that way so far. The jab of Foreman has kept him at bay, and the movement of Foreman has been bedeviling. 3 straight solid jabs by Yuri Foreman.
Very talented.
This 25-year-old is maybe making a little bit of a statement tonight. Yes, Troy Lowry is a journeyman, but a good journeyman. And the skill level of Foreman, pretty impressive in this fight.
You know, that really is our good right hand. That really is what boxing is all about. The really beauty of the sport is to impose your will. And what Foreman is doing is he is imposing his will on Lowry. Lowry needs to do something to spice it up.
Yeah, that's for sure, and he's having a hard time doing it. Minute left to go here in round number 7. This one is scheduled for 10. Again, that kind of chopping right hand by Yuri Foreman. He's landed it repeatedly in this fight. Reminder that we have 3 big fights still to come. In our next match, we're going to have a couple of heavyweights. Jameel McCline, who of course has been a top 10 heavyweight for a long time.
Big time.
Yeah, against Yuri Lawrence, who wants to break into that top 10 at some point. Of course, McCline trying to get back to a world title shot. He's twice challenged for a world title.
A very confident Lawrence. Yuri Lawrence is extremely confident.
See how he fares in our next match. Right now, that clubbing right tells you all you need to know about the way Yuri Foreman is performing tonight. Just seconds remaining here in round 7. Round number 8, scheduled 10-rounder. I'm Al Bernstein along with Sean O'Grady. We're very happy you're with us on this Friday evening as we come to you from Hollywood, Florida, the Hard Rock Live Arena on the grounds of the Seminole Hard Rock Hotel. And not been anything hard for Yuri Foreman so far tonight. He has breezed through this match against Troy Lowry, and he is handling him with ease.
I always thought we'd go to Hollywood, Al.
Yeah, we just weren't sure it was going to be Florida. Good head movement by Yuri Foreman in slipping the right hand and the jab of Troy Lowry. Sean, it would seem to me defense is one of the things Tommy Brooks and his people are looking for from him, because as he faces a better brand of opposition, not getting hit is going to be important.
Very important, but it's at a time, like I said, it's at a time when we need to turn that and try to go for a home run here.
Is it important for him to market himself by getting a knockout here?
Yes, it's important. It's important for him not to let people fall asleep. It's important for him to make people think of Yuri Foreman, because he is really good. But now's the time to change the speed. People don't want to see boxers. They want to see boxer punchers. They want to see people that inflict pain, inflict fear, and love their sport. And Yuri Foreman certainly loves his sport. But it's time now. It's time to save your opponent. He would save Troy from getting hit anymore with a knockout, but from getting headbutted. Look at that.
Yeah, the
accidental headbutt.
Clash of heads
together
between these 2 fighters. About a minute left to go here in round number 8.
And they're both real respectful of one another. They're both very nice men.
Well, Foreman certainly taking control in this fight, but not pursuing what Sean's talking about, a knockout or anything too dramatic, but he's landing a lot of punches, that's for sure still. Foreman with only 7 knockouts in 18 fights, and this is why. He's a good sharp puncher, just not a tremendously big puncher.
Yeah, very sharp, real crisp, accurate, nice feints. Look at that. Feint your opponent out of position and then make him pay for it. He feinted him out of position, but then he didn't make Troy pay. You feint him, you got no payoff there. He feints him out of position, then you score on him.
Final seconds of round number 8 in this scheduled 10-rounder, and it has been more of same with Yuri Foreman easily handling Troy Lowry.
It's like putting the ball on the tee and then you swing to the side of it. You got to hit the ball. Focus. posing, speaking of posing, hi, round number 9 coming up.
Let's go, guys.
And it is the 9th round. This is scheduled for 10. And Yuri Foreman, the 25-year-old undefeated middleweight, or sometimes junior middleweight, depending on which weight class he chooses to pursue, who was born in Belarus, moved to Israel, then at age 18 moved to New York, where he has plied his craft, both as an amateur and a professional. And he's gotten to the point where he's 18-0, and tonight it looks like he'll notch number 19 unless something really untoward happens.
And he's really good.
Yep.
Really good. He's got a lot of movement. He's got good, clean, crisp punches. He's well schooled.
For Troy Lowry, obviously we're at the point in this fight where only a knockout would bring him a victory. I don't think there's much doubt about that. And yet he still can't get on the inside and can't seem to unload the right hand at all. He works, by the way, as a union plasterer, does Troy Lowry. That's the job that, you know, for the most part, puts money on the table. And then, of course, he boxes. And people don't realize so many boxers have another job. Unless they get to be a world champion that makes a lot of money, there's usually another job involved.
Well, you gotta put food on the table. He's got 3 beautiful kids, he says. Sylvia 12, Troy Jr. 9, David 4, his wife Anita. St. Paul, Minnesota. Proud people there.
That's for sure. It's a great town. Halfway through round number 9, where you wind down in a 10-rounder.
Oh, low.
Now shows us a low punch.
Right. And again, another sign of the fatigue, the arm fatigue setting in. You know, your punches, you don't mean to, but they go a little bit low. They stray. Not as sharp as he once was, Foreman. Remember how crisp he was in those first few rounds? You really see a different complexion of him as a fighter.
He has never been 10 rounds, Yuri Foreman. This is the longest he has been, this 9th round. So for him, this is uncharted territory.
And it's schooling time. This has been 8 rounds, 3 different occasions.
Still controlling the action, and some of the fans not happy. You know, you mentioned people want to see boxer punchers, not boxers. Michael Nunn, a great middleweight champion for years, was almost unbeatable, but not as popular as he might have been, because he really never sat down on his punches to try for a knockout. As we head to the end of round 9, Yuri Foreman would like to get a few more stoppages. Maybe not tonight, though. Well, a fight that many thought might go the distance is apparently doing it, unless something happens here in round 10 to make it different. Nice right hand by Yuri Foreman, the 25-year-old in the black trunks, undefeated against veteran Troy Lowry, a 35-year-old who came in here with a 27-5 record. Also came in here off a career best win over Santiago Samaniego, a former world champion, but tonight has not gone as well for Lowry.
You know, Foreman's best punch may have been in that combination he threw when he first came out of this round. Did you notice how he was leaning over? That combination that he threw was hard because he was leading the punch with his head, with his upper body, all the weight of his head and his upper body into the shot. He doesn't do that. He hasn't been doing that. That's where the European style is that I'm talking about.
Right. It's a more straight-up style in which oftentimes, as you point out, the object is to score, but not necessarily to damage your opponent. No knockdowns in this fight. Another good straight right hand by Yuri Foreman. No one has been in serious trouble either during this 9.5 rounds. Combinations by Foreman.
Bending over at the waist like Troy did, dangerous thing to do, and that's one of the reasons their heads are running together too. You gotta squat down. The amateurs, they have a rule that your head cannot go below your waist.
Or the opponent's waist,
which is a great rule. Whoa, good right hand. Foreman's got some good skills. He really has shown us a lot. He's really very good.
It's been a route-going performance for Yuri Foreman. He doesn't get a stoppage, or doesn't appear he's going to, but he does perform very well. And of course, this is the first time he'll have gone 10 rounds, and did so with being active in rounds 8 and 9, or 9 and 10, so that's a plus.
And he's a hard guy to fight. He's a hard opponent for anyone. With all these moves, these turns, these twists, these punches, he would be difficult.
That's for sure. About a half minute left to go in this fight.
And for Lowry, I'd like to see him get back to his, back in the gym and start the way he knows how to fight. You can still be competitive with a lot of guys as long as you don't deter from what your best attribute is. His best attribute is moving inside, staying low, and throwing punches.
And even when he's been on the inside like this, Lowry hasn't been very effective. So, left hook from Lowry at the end, one of his better punches, but of course that's way too little and way too late.
That's it.
It's a route-going performance for both these fighters, and for Yuri Foreman, appears to be his 19th victory.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 10 rounds of boxing, we go to the scorecards. All three judges, John Rupert, Peter Trematera, and Rocky Young, score the bout identical, 100-90, in favor of the winner by unanimous decision, and still undefeated, Yuri Foreman.